you talk to me about the differences between you and the Wall Street guy? And previously, we've talked about the Wall Street guy actually being an enemy to the investor that's trying not to outlive their money. Can you go into some detail with me on that?
Well, sure, Jim. There's actually, I think, 4 things about the Wall Street establishment that make them the enemy of someone who's trying to solve the problem of not outliving their money. The first problem that the Wall Street people put out is that, quite simply, they charge exorbitant amounts of money for the services that they provide. Their costs are ridiculously high, almost insurmountable over a long period of time. The second reason is that the Wall Street establishment doesn't disclose to their clients how much of their money they are taking every day. Mm-hmm. It's a sad situation because they have made it legal to take money from their clients and actively manage mutual funds and not really have to disclose how much they're taking or when. Mm-hmm. That's the second reason. The third reason is that Wall Street is using demonstrably inferior strategies to try to achieve wealth for their clients. Those strategies are stock picking, market timing, and track record investing. All 3 of those investment strategies are inferior to the strategy utilized in the retirement money machine. The fourth reason that I don't like what Wall Street does is Wall Street preys on people's emotions. Wall Street likes it when their clients are ignorant and afraid. Mm-hmm. Because when people are afraid, they're more likely to do what Wall Street wants them to do, which is to buy and sell a lot, so it generates lots of commissions for Wall Street. I believe that an educated investor is the best investor, and one of my big jobs as a financial coach is to educate my clients on how the money market works, how the stock market works.
Okay, good. You've hit on kind of a key spot for me, and that is fees. Mm-hmm. And you called Wall Street's fees obscene. Mm-hmm. Can you be more specific about that?
Sure. In actively managed mutual funds, there's a number of fees that are charged to the client, and a number of which aren't even disclosed. There's the annual expense fees. Most people know what that is. There's a 12B1 fee. That's pretty well publicized. But then there's trading fees, both explicit and implicit, which can, in some cases, especially in smaller and international funds, more than double the annual expense rate. There's opportunity costs, lost opportunity costs.
Now, these are all in addition to commissions?
In addition to commissions, yeah. Commissions are basically the front load. There's lost opportunity costs. When Wall Street takes 5% of your investment up front for their commission, that's 5% of your money that's not working for you.
Yes,
and hence, and hence that's the lost opportunity cost. So you add up all the fees in a typical actively managed mutual fund, and they can run as high as 3 to 6% annually of the client's account. People are rightfully afraid of 3% annual inflation really hurting their chances of outliving their money. Wall Street's charging them 3 to 6% in fees, so Wall Street's creating a financial challenge that is equal to or greater than inflation in people outliving their money. That's why I don't think Wall Street is any friend of any retiree.
Wow, okay. You've indicated that the money machine is a low-cost, indexed fund type of investing. Mm-hmm. Is there proof that that type of strategy is better than active management of investments? Yeah,
there's absolute decades and reams of academic studies which prove this. You can just, if you want, Google active versus passive investment, mm-hmm. and you'll get gazillion hits, and you can spend all day seeing what the proof is. I did happen to bring with me a recent study I just found, and it's entitled The Failure of Active Management, which is basically Wall Street management. And if you want to send me an email, I will send you the documentation and a copy of this particular study. This is the percentage of active public equity funds that failed to beat the index, failed to beat passive investing, failed to beat the kind of investing that the retirement money machine does.
Okay.
In U.S. large cap funds for the 5 years that ended in December in 2010, 62% of the Wall Street fund managers didn't beat simple buy and hold index investing.
Wow.
For U.S. mid-cap, 78% of these fund managers didn't beat the benchmark. U.S. small-cap, 63%. International funds, 82% of the active managers didn't beat their index in international funds. And emerging market funds, 90% of the active managers didn't beat the simple index.
90%. Wow.
90%. So what are your chances of beating the market when 90% of the active managers out there in emerging markets, for example, didn't? Your chances are pretty small. They're not impossible, but they're real small.
Wow. In your view, are there any other things you can tell us or wisdom you can tell us on active managing versus index managing that would be helpful?
Yeah, I'll close this video with a quote that I think is one of the greatest quotes on investing I have ever seen. A fellow named Rex Sinquefield was in a debate with an active Wall Street manager guy named Donald Yackman at a Charles Schwab conference.
Okay.
And this is Rex Sinquefield's concluding statement in the case for the kind of investing that the retirement money machine does, which is actually structured asset class. It's passive investing. I'll quote, "In short, asset class investing is consistent with what we know about how free and fair markets function. Active management is not. Asset class investing is supported by the results of scores of empirical studies of 50 years of professionally managed portfolios. Active management is not. Finally, asset class investing allows reliable planning and implementations of portfolio strategies. It is demonstrably successful and the most prudent way to invest money." Rex Sinquefield, who's, by the way, one of the guys who invented index funds and is one of the designers of the retirement money machine, said it far better than I could, Jim.
Great, thank you.